Knits podcast. This is a podcast about knitting, sometimes crocheting, but always about all of the yarny goodness that I love. Today is Thursday, October 5th, and I am coming to you from my home in Nebraska. We have just had a little bit of a cool front come through, so now we are experiencing some fall weather after having a string of 90-degree days last week. So it is a much welcome relief and break in our weather. So I hope wherever you are enjoying your weather. If you love fall as much as I do, I hope that you are enjoying it right now. A big hello and welcome back to any new viewers and returning viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for taking your time to spend a little time with me. Let's see. Other places you can find me besides YouTube if you'd like to follow me. I am on Instagram and Ravelry as cbcraftygirl. And on Ravelry, we do have a podcast group for Carla Knits, and we currently have 2 make-alongs going on. Love to have you join in on those. Details can be found in the show notes down below. Anything I talk about, or I should say everything I talk about, will have links in the show notes down below. But just to highlight briefly, 2 make-alongs. We have they're both year long. One is a Love Your Stash make-along, so using yarns previous to 2023, and one is a blanket make-along, so making blankets or working on blankets that may have been hibernating for a while. I'm just going to highlight a few projects from makers in the Ravelry group. So from the Love Your Stash make-along, the first Ravelry person is Linda, and her Ravelry user, that's what I was going with, is LME Cole, and she knit the Venezia shawl. I believe that's a pattern by Joji Locatelli, and it's just beautiful. The color is beautiful, and all the lace texture is beautiful too, Linda. The next is a pair of socks, and I only have one sock to show you because I thought this picture showed it a little better, but this is by Norma G, and it's a pair of bat socks, so really appropriate for this month. So a really fun color work Halloween sock, but she does have a pair done, but I wanted to show you that up close. So really fun, Norma. And then M. Joe, that's May, made a knitted bear vest, I think for your grandson, or grandchild, I should say. And she did not use a pattern, and I think she said she knit it in one day. So way to go, May. That is super, super cute. And then from the blanket make-along, I just want to highlight one today. This was a crochet blanket by DML Knits. That's the Ravelry user. And it's a beautiful big crochet blanket. The pattern is Carwin's Maze, and it looks really intricate as far as crochet goes. So lovely job. And you've been posting lots of blankets in there. So way to go on that. So if you are using stash yarn, if you are working on a blanket, please feel free to join us in the Ravelry group. Post pictures for, the possibility of winning a prize when I draw prizes. So the next quarter will be up after September. Oh, it already is, so I should be drawing a prize, shouldn't I? I will have to do that on the next episode. I completely forgot to do that. I guess October has taken me by surprise. So I'm going to have to draw a quarterly winner from the Love Your Stash. Yes, draw a quarterly winner. So stay tuned to that for the next episode. Sorry about that, guys. That kind of completely went over my head, but I certainly will do that on the next episode. All right, let's get into what I'm wearing, or a finished object as well. So I am so happy to have this beautiful shawl completed and off of the needles. This is Carla's Garden Shawl by Darcy of Chit Chat Knits. And it actually turned out bigger than I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to be more of a shawlette size. But Darcy gave me one of the first drafts of the pattern. And I noticed in the final draft of the pattern that she does say you can stop at a certain point for a smaller shawl or keep going for a larger shawl. So I made the whole shawl, which I'm very happy. I love big shawls, but let me take that off. So here it is. She incorporates that beautiful flower stitch. If you look in that corally rust color section, you can see the beautiful flower stitch. I was about 3.5 inches from the bottom. So the last time I podcast, so it still was a lot of knitting. It took me a good week to finish that much. I still was knitting other things, but it still was a lot of knitting to finish those final 3.5 inches because it was the longest part of the shawl. So you can wear it the bandana style, which is the way I like to do it, or it is plenty big to wear this way as well, which I'm really excited about. So I had ordered a shawl pin thinking it was going to be more of a shawlette, so I wouldn't have necessarily had to get the pin, but I didn't put it on because I wanted to be able to show you the shawl. But this is the pin I got. Maybe I'll hold it against there. So I think it will go really nicely with this shawl. This pin is it's a shop on Etsy, Keep and Cherish. So the website is keepandcherish.etsy.com, but a lovely shawl pin to go with it. And I thought that kind of burnt red color really went nice with the colors in that flower section. So this was a 3 skein fingering weight shawl. Let's see, so 3 skeins. I used a beach themed yarn set from Skein Cocaine, and I had actually gotten it on a D-stash on Etsy, but I had looked on the website, and so it was available from Skein Cocaine. It is no longer available to my knowledge, but the 3 yarns in here, the bluish color is Coastal, the creamy speckly color is Seashells, and the rusty reddish, well, it's more coral rusty to me, but that is Starfish. I love how it turned out. I think it's actually a beautiful shawl for fall. I started this June 1st, I don't know if I said that, and finished it October 1st. So that was 4 months, but that was not 4 months of monogamous knitting either. So it certainly could be done in a faster time period, but it is a fingering weight shawl, 3 skeins. I do have some leftovers, but I absolutely love how it turned out. Thank you, Darcy, for such a special shawl pattern. I'm going to put it back to bandana style. So I know I talk about Darcy a lot on this channel. I just love her patterns, and she is going to come up again because I am working on something else by Darcy. But I'm going to pause a minute while I put this shawl back on. All right, so that is my big finished object for today. I do have one more finished object, and it is this pair of socks. So I was trying to get this done for an October birthday. So these will be going out in the mail probably, well, probably tomorrow now. I will get these out in the mail, or at the latest Monday, mid-October birthday. The yarn I used is from Tall Pine Yarns. Her self-striping. She has many self-striping colors. I think this did have a color name in the Etsy shop, but I can't remember what it is. But this is for an Ohio State fan. So I think they are really great for an Ohio State fan. They were a little shorter because the recipient has a shorter foot, so it's nice to knit for someone whose feet are a little bit smaller than my own, because they go a little quicker. When I was knitting the second sock, I was watching a movie on Netflix. I can't remember what it was, but it was pretty intense. And I just kept knitting and knitting. I actually knit the toe I knit before the toe decreases way too long, and did the toe decreases, everything. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I ended up having to rip back, and so I actually had Kitchenered the toe. I don't really know what I was thinking, but I just picked up stitches where I needed to, unraveled my yarn, unpicked my yarn, and unraveled back to a little bit, or right before where I should have put the toe decreases in. So the sock had a little bit more work than it should have, but still really happy that they are done and that I have a gift. These are for my father-in-law's wife. So very happy that I will be able to gift these to her. It is still really warm for a wool shawl. It's in the 70s, but I'm in the basement. I've got lights on down here, so it's really warm. So the shawl may have to be taken off. We'll see if I can get through it. I'm ready for the really cold weather so that I can just wear all the knitwear. All right, so that brings us into works in progress. I don't have a whole lot of work to show you because I was really concentrating on finishing the shawl, finishing the gift socks, but I will show you the progress I have. I shared last time that I cast on a love note. So this is the second love note that I am making. I was undecided whether or not I was going to use the lace in the pattern. Excuse me, this is a pattern by Tin Can Knits. A lot of people in the knitting community have knit this sweater. And I guess I really like it because I'm knitting it a second time. I did share last time, I wasn't sure if I was going to knit the lace part or just knit it plain stockinette, but I actually decided to do the lace portion, which you won't be able to tell because I'm not very far into it, but I think you can see better how the yarn is working up. You can see a little bit of the lace just starting there. So yep, I just decided I wanted to go ahead with that lace again. Really like how the yarn is knitting up. The yarn, it's one fingering and one mohair. This is the skein that got away from me. Yes, this is a skein that got away from me, so very sloppy, but it's okay. This is the Conifer Collective in the Desert Cardinal colorway, and it's really, really pretty. Grays and purples, yeah, and occasional blips of like a little rust color in there, but just so pretty. I think it's a really great fall color. And then the mohair I'm holding with it is this really deep eggplant purple color. This is by Up North Yarns in the Midnight at the Oasis colorway. And I said last time I didn't know what that colorway referred to. And a thank you to my friend Joanne. She is one of my in-person knitting friends. And she said this was a song, a very popular song in the 70s. And so I did look it up. Midnight at the Oasis came out in 1973. The artist was Maria Muldaur. So 1973, so I would have been 2. So it was a little bit before my time when I would have been listening to it, but maybe my parents were listening to that song and enjoyed it. But thank you, Joanne. It's always interesting to find out where the color inspiration comes from, and now I know, so I do appreciate knowing that. All right, so that's, I didn't have a marker to show where I was last time. I had just really had a couple of the first knitted rounds, but now I will put a marker in to show progress for the next time. But hopefully you can see what's going on there. It did start with a provisional cast on, so I will be picking that out later when I do the neckline. But that is how that's working up. So I really just put a little bit of time into that, maybe an hour or 2 this week into that project. The next project I'm going to share is a new cast on. I guess the next 3 are all new projects that you haven't seen. So maybe I've gotten a little cast on happy. And there's so many more projects I want to cast on. But I'm telling myself, no, you better not cast on everything. Although maybe I will. We'll see. It's very fun casting them on, but then when all of these projects are around you and you don't have time to work on them all, that's when it gets a little stressful. But this project I cast on is going to be a hat. I only have the ribbing, and the ribbing is just about done. So not too much to show yet, but this is going to be the Flying Geese hat by Darcy of Chit Chat Knits. This is one of her newest patterns that she released, and it was kind of the perfect timing because she is hosting a Warm Ears make-along, both on Instagram and in her Ravelry group. And so it's anything having to do with keeping your ears warm. So it could be a hat, it could be a headband, but I really wanted to try her new pattern. Just the idea of flying geese. You know, Jeff and I go to the lake to sail, and this time of year the birds are starting to fly around, and so we know they will be heading south for the winter. So we do see lots of geese at our lake. So I just thought that would be really fun. The yarn that I am using, kind of hard to describe, but I guess I would say it's a mauve taupe color. In some lights it looks much more taupe. To me, the way I am seeing it now, it's definitely more of a mauve color. Yeah, a mauve colored yarn. This yarn is Sorella worsted in the Sugar Mountain colorway. And again, this was a D-stash on Etsy. Yeah, I just like to look at, I shouldn't look at yarn because I don't need it, but I do like to look at D-stash hand-dyed yarn on Etsy. You just never know what you're going to find. Sometimes it is discounted, sometimes it's not, but it's always fun just to see, you know, some older things that might be available. So I just thought this was a really pretty neutral. It's really going to show off the beautiful pattern. So the pattern calls for a DK or light worsted, and I think that is going to be just fine. So that is my hat cast on, and I'm going to use it as part of my participation in Darcy's make-along. All right, the next project that got cast on right after a pair of socks got done was another gift sock. I was going to say knit along. No, another gift sock that I cast on. So this is for my sister-in-law Patty in Canada. I don't think she watches, so At least I hope not. If you are, hello. I know you know what you're getting for Christmas. But this is, let me just show you. This is how far I am. I am actually knitting these 2 at a time, not on the same needle. I've never tried that. I don't think I have any interest in trying that technique, but I thought yeah, I'm getting a little tired of fingering weight socks. So I thought I'm going to cast on both just to ensure that I get these done. So I knit the cuff on one, then I knit the cuff on the other. I just finished how much length I wanted for the leg. So then last night I picked up and started the leg on this one. When I get done with the leg, I will go on to the heel flap and gusset, heel flap and gusset on the other one, and then I probably will just knit all the way down to the toe after that. We'll see. I don't know. Or maybe 20 rounds. But I know I shared this yarn last time, and it's really hard to see. It really looks like it was just a plain color, and I don't know if it's going to show that way now. But there's actually some variation in this yarn. So there's creams and grays, just the slightest hint of a really muted blue. So this is a Patton's Croy yarn, and it's called Seashell Colors. And my sister-in-law wanted a neutral, so this was the neutral sock yarn that I had in my stash. I will say, after working on a merino nylon sock, this yarn is a little tiring on my fingers. You know, this is a sturdier, I would call this a workhorse yarn. It is 75% wool, 25% nylon. So this is what I would say is more like a Regia or opal yarn. So it's definitely going to be long wearing, nice sturdy sock, but it does cause my fingers some fatigue. So I can't do it in super long stretches, but I'm actually really happy with the progress that I have made this week on these. All right, last work in progress is a new, you can't say cast on, a new crochet project, and this is a crochet sweater. So this is going to be really different working on a crochet garment. But it seems like crochet is having its moment right now. There are lots of crochet sweaters that I see in the store. There's lots of granny square sweaters and cardigans. I'm not sure I can pull that look off, but I thought a cardigan would be really nice. And I did have this yarn in my stash, a sweaters quantity. And so scrolling through Instagram, as you do, I came across this. The maker or the designer of this pattern, it's Heartfully Stitched on Instagram. Her name is Amber Zumbrun. Sorry, I don't know, but it's Heartfully Stitched. And this is called the Parker cardigan. And I saw that and I really liked it. She has a number of cardigans and sweaters, so crochet garments. And so I thought I would give it a try. This is Lion Brand Touch of Alpaca yarn. I originally bought this for a pullover, but after touching it, it's soft, but I tend to be a little bit allergic to alpaca. And so even though this is 90% acrylic and 10% alpaca, it still has alpaca in it. And I don't know if you would be able to see, there are some little alpaca strands coming out of the yarn. I don't know that you would be able to see it. So I thought it might be better used as a cardigan. So I would always have, you know, like a shirt layer between that and the cardigan. But I absolutely love this color. I think it's a great color for fall. I am having fun crocheting it. Crochet goes very fast. I just started it this week. yeah, so I think that is all I wanted to say about that. So those are the active whips that I have been working on. I'm just going to share one that I hope to get back to now that my shawl is finished. This is the, oops, I'm a little stuck here. This is the Betangled Shawlette, and I believe the designer is Jennifer Weissman or Weissman. This pattern was gifted to me by my in-person friend, Lois. Hi, Lois. And she is very, very far on hers. But she gave me the pattern. We both went to Lincoln, to the yarn store there. We picked out our yarns. So we're both using same yarn, different color. This is Rowan Felted Tweed. I know I had said the color before. Something mustard, even though it's a green. Was it dirty mustard? Dijon mustard? I don't know. But it's this fun green color, which again, you know, a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I still think it's going to be really, really fun. It's sometimes fun to get us out of our comfort zone and try different colors. Yeah, so I've never thought of myself really as someone who would like greens and like golds or pumpkins, but this time of year I'm very, very drawn to them. And yep, so I'm loving this color, loving the crimson color, the deep purple here. I have a pumpkin colored yarn that I would love to cast on a sweater, another sweater, but I do need to refrain. I think probably 2 sweaters is enough for right now. So I hope to get back to this, add this into the rotation now of my works in progress. So that is all that I have been up to as far as knitting and crocheting the last 2 weeks. Just a little bit of chatter. I don't know about you, but the days and weeks have just gone by so fast, and excuse me, I just think that is something about getting older. I really feel like the older I get, the faster time moves. But you know, I go to work, do my daily routine at work, come home, you know, and every day just kind of just blurs into the next one. So really busy with work at the college and my teaching of the young piano students. I will play organ for 3 services this weekend, so I've been putting in practice time this week. We are getting ready to take our boat out of the water for the season. We have a sailboat, so that will come out next Friday. So excuse me, I think it might be the alpaca in the in the yarn. Sorry, itchy nose. So next weekend is actually our fall break weekend from college. So we are going to take the boat out and clean that all up and put her away for the winter. So that's our plans for that. We have seen our daughter Jenna. We are empty nesters who sent our youngest off to college this fall, but we have still seen her once a week. She joins us for family dinners on her own, no pressure from mom or dad, which has just been really sweet. So we've got to see her, and I think next week she has one of her first choir concerts, so we are looking forward to seeing that. I have been hosting a couple of Zooms, trying to host, one successful last week, and I'm going to have another one this afternoon. So it's really great getting together with some knitting friends. It's just for a very short time, for 40 minutes. I put the information in the Ravelry group, and I did want to say I locked that thread just so I'm going to change it each time I do a Zoom. So you will have the most current information in that Ravelry thread if you would like to join. And then I have a couple people on Instagram that I do send the information to if you would like to be notified. That way you can always let me know about that. We'd love to have you join us. But thank you to those of you who have joined. It's just really nice to get together for a little bit with friends all around the country. It's been great. So I guess that is all for now. I hope you have had a good couple weeks. I hope you've had some good crafting and knitting, crocheting time, or whatever craft that you love to do. I hope to be back in a couple weeks to share some progress on all of my current works in progress. So with that, I will say goodbye. Take care, and I'll see you soon.